A lot of supplement brands chase trends, but if you're serious about your health, we know research-backed science is what actually moves the needle. Momentous works with the best brains in human science to create every formula, and every batch is made of pure ingredients, tested for safety, and does not contain fillers. So you get the best long-term results possible. Creatine isn't just for muscle gains, it's essential daily fuel for your brain, body, and long-term performance. Momentous CreaPure Creatine is backed by leading performance experts like Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Stacy Sims. Sourced exclusively in Germany, CreaPure sets the gold standard for creatine, delivering the purest form, creatine monohydrate, that's rigorously washed and never cut with fillers. With over 2,000 five-star reviews, over 112,000 customers have seen the results firsthand. With Momentous, the fundamentals are done right. Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first subscription order with promo code ACAST. Go to livemomentous.com and use promo code ACAST for up to 35% off your first subscription order. That's livemomentous.com, promo code ACAST.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Today's episode has a trigger warning. We will talk about alcohol and violence.
The kettle's boiled, Vic.
Great. Perfect timing. Just a dash of milk for me, please, mate.
Here you go. Shall we get started then?
Have you ever woken up on a Sunday morning and said, I'm never drinking again, and then found yourself waving $50 at a barman by happy hour?
Are you wondering why everyone else can stop at 1 while you head to a dodgy after-party with a weird bloke called Disco Dave? If so, it might be time to take a deeper look at your relationship with your reliable social crutch, alcohol.
On each episode, we'll investigate our own dysfunctional dealings with booze and find out if it's possible to stop this deeply ingrained habit before things get too messy.
Yep, we're going to open up a shame shed of humiliating drinking stories to help you understand why waking up from a booze coma each weekend with a kebab sticking out of your top pocket might actually be negatively impacting your health.
Hamish and I are here to delve into what it's like being sober, an unwanted warts and all look into why giving up those cheeky pints or putting down those mummy wines will make you feel happier, help your anxiety and mental health, and turn you into the most sparkly, authentic version of you.
Won't that mean I become boring though, Vic?
Well, Hamish, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm Victoria Vanstone.
I'm Hamish Adams-Cairns.
And this is Sober Awkward.
Very punchy, are we?
If we could do a whole episode about celebrities we'd punch,
Yeah.
we would have done it earlier than this.
We would have done. That's so true. So did you know, Hamish, that binge drinking increases the likelihood of not only becoming aggressive and angry, but also being on the receiving end of someone else's anger?
Yes, I did know that.
Yes.
I'm not a total idiot.
It's not really a good fact, that, is
It's
it?
not a did you know kind of fact.
Yeah.
No, it's a clearly you knew because you've drunk before and been in fights.
Yeah.
Seen fights in my situation. So no, I did know that. I would say almost every fight I've ever seen has involved booze.
Yeah, I would too. I think.
Except for maybe the fights on like sporting pitches.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
when rugby players swing at each other.
Yeah.
There's no booze involved there. But yeah, every fight, a high percentage of fights are boozy.
I would say 99% of fights are boozy. Anyway, we all know a night out can get messy. Someone might spill a pint on you. You might look at someone the wrong way. You might even grab the attention of someone for no reason at all. And sometimes after the pub closes, people spill out onto the street and clashes happen. There might be intent, it might be unconfounded, but after a night out on the tiles where there are lots of people and lots of booze, there are often lots of fights.
So today we want to tackle a difficult topic that I actually couldn't believe that we haven't done this before. This feels like one of the big ones. We've already delved a little into domestic violence related to overdrinking in a previous episode. You might remember Vic vulnerably shared her own experiences of this. But today we want to find out why sometimes people fight on a night out. What is alcohol doing to our brains to make us act in this way? And we'll find out how, at times, this violence can lead to something they refer to in Australia as being king hit or being involved in a one-punch situation.
Right, so Hamish, let's get into it. Have you ever, and I know the answer now because you're such a little lovely wooden boy. With
I would never imagine being
you're
violent.
such a gentle little soul with your wooden toys and playing with flowers. I don't think you've been in a fight. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Yes.
I am more of a fight with your words kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a kind way of saying that I'm a coward. I was actually thinking about this in the shower this morning. You know how as a kid, I don't know if you had it so much with girls, it was something like a boys thing, that someone would go, my dad's stronger than your dad. And you'd be like, no way, my dad's stronger than your dad. And then when you're like maybe 10, 11, I would beat someone at tennis and they'd be like, yeah, you're okay at tennis, but I've got a friend and they could thrash you. And you're like, no way, I would thrash your friend at tennis. At some point in my life, I became the guy that was like, my dad could beat up your dad. And I was like, yeah, you probably could. Like you just go into the gear of like, I'm going to let this slide and just admit defeat rather than get into a confrontation.
I honestly think that's probably the best gear to be in throughout your life, is just to walk away. I think that's going to be the lesson of the whole podcast here today is like, is it really worth it?
Yeah. But let me say, I have uppercutted people. I have uppercutted people with an insult.
Right.
Said behind their backs, obviously not to their faces. I'm not a lunatic. I've knocked people out with sarcasm and wit.
Okay, right.
I have headbutted them by slagging off their haircuts and their dodgy shoes. Real like classy, heavyweight terror, the sort of stuff that you have nightmares about.
Right.
Someone coming up to you and behind your back saying, yeah, your hair looks really rubbish. I have been in a group of mates during which a punch-up has happened. Okay. That's the closest that I've been to a punch-up. I stand at the back and yell insults or just quickly leave.
Wait. There is no way that you stand at the back and shout insults.
No, I just make the wanker sign. I don't
think you'd even do that. You'd be like, guys, let's talk this out. Let's hug it out, guys. Come on, let's just have a cuddle and go home and snuggle each other.
I'm just singing Kumbaya from the back.
Holding a Bible in the air.
Yeah. I think the funniest and most memorable punch-up that I've witnessed was at 21st birthday party. This really drunk, posh guy was slagging off my mate. I think either for being ginger or for being Irish. It was not really fair, but my mate obviously got angry, as any great ginger Irish man would. You get pissed off with that kind of posh English guy. And they got in a punch-up. That posh fella turned out a few years later to be quite famous on TV, Jamie Lang. Made in Chelsea.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes, gosh.
So that turned out quite well. My mate Chazza also beat up a guy for hitting on his girlfriend. It was like outside a fancy pub in Chelsea. We were about 15 and he got him by his throat and he put him against a car. It was like a really fancy car, BMW something. Got him there and he was but he's like one of those guys. I would say most of my punch-up stories involve Chazza. He's one of those guys who's like very proud about the fact he's northern and he can throw a punch.
So a lot of them happened in Chelsea with posh people. Yeah. So it's basically posh fighting, which is probably very different than maybe going down the East End of London having a fight.
It's more like your chest are touching, maybe your nose to nose. You're just like, oh.
With your salmon shirt.
I've got more money on my Oyster card than you've got on your Oyster card.
Your salmon shirt rolled up going, would you like to have a fight with me, young man? There's no flick knives or gun crime.
No, we're both wearing Ralph Lauren. We don't want to get that dirty.
And loafers.
Yeah. Take
your loafers off before and then we'll really get into it.
So that's the sort of level of punch-ups I'm at in my life. What about you? I don't have you down as like a punch-up girl.
I'm not a punch-up person. It's true, I'm like you.
Not even in the glory years.
Too posh to fight. No, not even the glory years. I was too drunk to fight anybody. And also I couldn't see beyond my own nose.
Yeah.
So I'd just be punching a wall. I did have a fight with a wall once, actually. Me and Kate, when we kicked the wall in Brighton once and woke up with bruised toes. Have I told you about that?
No.
We just decided it was funny one night just to kick everything in, bin bags and rubbish bins and walls and chairs and things. We had done some hard drugs as well.
Tell me the full story.
Sometimes you get aggressive. That's what we're going to talk about, isn't it? You get aggressive and do weird things that are out of character, which I didn't really often do. It was the next day, my drinking, I really suffered. I was never that fighty. I was quite jolly when I was drunk, probably very slurry and probably very fully ovary, quite honestly. But I remember being at a party with my mum and dad, and a boy that I knew who was 16 told one of the mums that she had nice boobs, and the dad, who was a policeman, came over and punched him. And we were like, "Oh my God, you can't punch a kid." And he was really drunk, the policeman
He was
guy.
a policeman.
Yeah, he was a
And he
policeman.
punched a child.
16-year-old child, yeah. It was very controversial.
If a 15-year-old came up to you and told you they thought that John had a nice ass,
Yeah.
would you punch the
No, I would think it was hilarious.
That's a great compliment.
Well, I think that's the problem. What we're saying is that he was so drunk, he just took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And just took it to the next level and went and punched a kid. Held him up against the wall, actually, and then punched him.
Punched a kid.
Yeah. I know, it
Policeman.
was really, we didn't really see those people ever again. Used to always be fights in the UK as all the pubs closed at the same time. I remember when last orders were done, we'd down the drink and we were out on the street. That's where most of the fights happened. They were usually scuffles and pushes and then kind of walking up the road. But there was one night where I got beaten up on Christmas Eve. Do you remember me and my mates all woke up with black eyes? We hadn't done anything, but people had become aggressive and we would just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, which happens all the time. There were some places you knew to avoid. If you were a fighter, you would have gone to them. If you were a non-fighter, like me and my mates, you avoided them, especially when I lived in Luton. There were certain pound a pint pubs that you just avoided. They did cheap spirits.
Yeah, that does.
So as soon as the cheap spirits were on the go and you knew that it was closing time, which I think there was different than pub closing time. I think it was 1 a.m. You always had that mate who you knew once they had a couple of pints down their neck that they were going to get a bit out of control and put you in situations and your group of friends where you didn't quite know what was going to happen next. I mean, I had a boyfriend once who I knew after drinking maybe 5 beers that he was going to become more aggressive and ruder to people. And I remember always getting scared about how he was going to behave because he became unpredictable after drinking. And he would speak to people in a way that I knew was going to cause issues for people. And I used to kind of step on eggshells around him because I was like, I think maybe we should go now because I felt like trouble was coming. Yeah. And it always reached a peak and it was always after beers and then shots. And actually my Thai boyfriend, it was when he drank this rice wine that's called, it's like that Raxy stuff. When he drank that, he got a funny look in his eye and it made him more aggressive. And I do remember him once smashing his hand through a window after drinking that in a complete blackout and not acting in a way that was normal. Quite scary. I did punch a mate on holiday once in Crete. She punched me.
Punched you?
She punched me because I puked on her legs and she was wearing her new boots that were made of suede.
She punched you?
She just kind of gave me she turned around and just went, ugh, sort of in my stomach. It was more kind of an angry, it wasn't like I'm going to punch you in the face and knock you out. It was like I'm annoyed with you, like a brother and sister sitting in the back of the car arguing about seatbelts. It was that sort of
stomach is a very generous
It was just
place
like a
to punch
side
someone.
punch. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I've pissed her off. I better not puke on her nice shoes again. Yeah. I know when I drank white wine, I definitely felt more angry inside.
Oh, that was your drink.
Yeah, I just remember feeling a little bit more aggressive. I threw a mobile phone on the floor once. I once threw an iPad across a room.
I had that with K-cider and with Stella. I know we'll talk about Stella a bit later. I don't know if that is a psychological thing.
Right.
If you read, Stella or K-cider, this is the one that gets you aggressive.
Yeah.
So then you're going into drinking it thinking, I'll feel aggressive in like an hour. But yeah, I certainly would get fired up on those two. Usually because I would do them and then go to a football match. Yeah. And the whole environment of a football match is aggression.
Yes.
And it's like safe aggression. You're slagging off people on the other side of the stand, going, you're shit, you know?
It doesn't feel safe, that sort of aggression for me. I've been to a football match once and I promised to never go again. I went to Millwall versus Luton, right?
Yeah.
And people weren't even watching the match. They were just on the sidelines, making a line going, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to slit your throat, pointing at each other. And then they set fire to the bus that was leaving and threw all of the seats out of the window. And me and my mate, we were sober. We were like, this feels really, really unsafe. And I wonder whether they're drinking those really, really strong, cheap alcohols. We'll get into that a bit later, but there is something to be said for the stronger beers making you more aggressive. Yeah.
Sure.
So growing up in the 80s, 90s and 2000s, it seems that drinking and fighting were pretty common. It was a kind of risk that everyone expected. And there were certain people that seemed to always be the fighters, the one that had reputations for getting a bit fisticuffy after too many pints of Stella.
Yeah, let's talk about Stella for a minute because it does have this controversial nickname of being the wife beater, which is a weird kind of nudge, wink, wink, lads joke. It's like, we used to, I was the wife beater, mate. Stella, 4 pints out of your wife beater, which is unbelievably dark.
It is so fucked up, that.
Isn't it?
Yeah, even when I was thinking about this, writing this episode, I was like, imagine that we joke, calling a beer a wife beater. Hey, a couple of pints of wife beater. It's not funny, is it?
True. Why did Stella get that reputation? Terrible PR. Someone, I reckon, maybe a rival beer brand, started this thing. Oh yeah, well, Stella's the wife beater.
But it doesn't put people off it. That's what. It's almost like a marketing campaign, because actually that phrase, it's like a funny joke, and it doesn't actually turn people away from it. It makes you, that must be really strong. I'll have another one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to get me pissed quicker. It's weird, isn't it?
It's dark.
Yeah, I decided before we get into the current social issue of people drinking and fighting, I thought it'd be a good idea to have a look at the history of this, actually, because it's quite fascinating, Hamish. There seems to be roots in cowboys having fights in saloons back in like the late 1800s. People used to fight in pubs for entertainment. It used to be something that people bet on back in the day. And that sort of spilled out into the street in the early days and escalated into gunfights after having too many drams of whiskies. So people were more aggressive, so they decided to make money out of it. And then actually that led to people being shot outside saloons in America. It's quite crazy. It seems lots of people leaving drinking establishments at the same time can also cause the problem of street fighting after boozing. And actually, this came about during the war. The 6 p.m. closing of pubs was introduced as a temporary wartime measure. It resulted in what became known as the 6 o'clock swill. I spoke to my dad about this yesterday and he remembers the 6 o'clock swill. It seems patrons drank their fill before closing time. In fact, this practice of downing beers at the same time resulted in more than a few sore heads. In October 1940, a group of soldiers rioted in Brisbane, quite near where we live, as authorities began to enforce the strict 8 o'clock closing law for pubs. The rioters exchanged blows with police, disrupted tramways, smashed pub windows and marched the streets chanting, "Roll out the barrel, we want beer."
What?
The beer riot, as it was so called, continued for 5 hours, bringing central Brisbane to a standstill. A closing time riot. Amazing.
It sounds like we basically turn into kids, don't we?
Yeah.
Like when the pub's like, party's over.
Yeah.
It kicks off.
Yeah.
So upset the pub's everyone going to punch someone.
Yeah, it's basically a lot of people splitting the dummy all at once, isn't it?
That's exactly what it is.
I gave you some homework this week, Hamish, didn't I? I wanted to find out the history and I've given you the job of finding out the science.
Yeah, so there's quite a few different aspects going on at the same time here. So firstly, the impact of drinking alcohol on aggressive or violent behaviour is complex. Many people who drink are never violent, and even those who do become aggressive won't do so every time they do drink. But there is strong evidence of a link between alcohol and aggression. There are several ways that alcohol affects your body that can contribute to aggression. So alcohol can narrow your attention and stop you seeing the big picture.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A lot of supplement brands chase trends, but if you're serious about your health, we know research-backed science is what actually moves the needle. Momentous works with the best brains in human science to create every formula, and every batch is made of pure ingredients, tested for safety, and does not contain fillers. So you get the best long-term results possible. Creatine isn't just for muscle gains, it's essential daily fuel for your brain, body, and long-term performance. Momentous CreaPure Creatine is backed by leading performance experts like Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Stacy Sims. Sourced exclusively in Germany, CreaPure sets the gold standard for creatine, delivering the purest form, creatine monohydrate, that's rigorously washed and never cut with fillers. With over 2,000 5-star reviews, over 112,000 customers have seen the results firsthand. With Momentous, the fundamentals are done right. Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first subscription order with promo code ACAST. Go to livemomentous.com and use promo code ACAST for up to 35% off your first subscription order. That's livemomentous.com, promo code ACAST.
picture.
Oh, I love this one.
You may miss social environmental cues that help you to interpret situations and give less attention to the wider consequences of immediate actions. This means someone who's drunk might rise to the bait rather than thinking of the consequences and become angry or violent, even over something that they would normally shrug off.
Yes, so something as simple as you going, oi, did you spill my pint, mate?
Yeah.
You spilled my pint.
That's the spark.
Like, basically, what's happened is if we were all sober in a pub and somebody bumped into you and spilt your drink, we'd all go,
Yeah.
oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry too. Like, would you like me to buy you another one? It would be a really, actually, probably a lovely exchange, wouldn't
Right,
it?
yeah.
But when there's beer on the menu, people can't read the cue and they're like finding it as if that you're starting something.
Yeah.
You starting something, mate? Do you want to go outside? Because they have spilt a tiny sip of your drink.
Yeah.
It's so weird, isn't
Same
it?
when people get like the wrong look. They looked
Yeah.
at me funny, or they looked at my girlfriend or boyfriend funny, so I'm going to fucking give it to them.
It's ridiculous, really,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
If I was drunk, I can imagine I look around and stare at things and people would take that. I've got resting bitch face,
Right.
which is a horrible term, isn't it? Resting lady face, let's call it. So I can imagine that would be interpreted the wrong way all the time if I was out. No one ever translated my face as being grumpy.
I made really unfortunate eye contact with someone this morning
Oh,
in
yeah.
the gym. You know when you lie on your back, your feet are flat on the
sexy
floor.
eye contact.
Yeah, I was winking at them, licking my lips. But it was another guy. But you know when you're lying on your back and your feet are planted and you have to do this thing when you basically hump the ceiling and hold it there.
Right.
So basically, I think it strengthens your bum or your
Oh,
hip.
I see.
Do you
Yeah,
know
I
that
know what you
move?
mean, yeah.
I don't do that and make eye contact. I was standing above this guy, sort of minding my business, and I made eye contact with him. I was like, he's humping the sky, and we've had a moment. I felt very awkward straight away. But yeah, that was us sober, so it didn't result in anything too serious. Just an awkward moment.
I think it's maybe not awkward. I think it's quite sweet.
Is it?
Yeah. You should do it to him more often. See what
Then I'll
happens.
be like, that guy always stands over me when I'm
Yeah,
doing the humping
report
the
back.
sky exercise.
You'll be here with a black eye next week.
Also in gyms, there's mirrors everywhere. I could do it at an angle, you know, pretend that I'm looking at myself. The way you process information is also affected by drinking alcohol. So after drinking alcohol, you are more likely to misinterpret other people's behaviour. This could be the reason why drunken fights can start over little more than bumping into someone at a bar.
Yeah, totally.
Alcohol also suppresses inhibition, making it harder to think straight. Drinking affects your brain chemistry, so small amounts of alcohol can cause initial feelings of relaxation, but what's actually happening is that alcohol is suppressing activity in parts of the brain associated with inhibition. I would also say that adds to this. You've got less inhibition, you're reading cues much worse, you're naturally more aggressive from being drunk, plus getting punched hurts less.
Of course, yeah.
So you're like, if I'm ever going to fight, it's going to be now. I'm not feeling very much. It's not going to hurt my fist or my hand. I might as well get into it.
Yeah, because your skin sort of feels numb, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're anaesthetised.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what alcohol's doing to you. So therefore, yeah, it might not feel as hard or as scary.
Yeah.
Because your fears would be gone, wouldn't they? So you'd be like, oh, actually, of course I'm going to try and fight now because it's not going to hurt and I'm not going to be scared and I don't care about any consequences.
Yeah. Plus you've got the bravado and you've got the confidence and
Yeah.
you've got probably the ego.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake.
I wonder if people that go out and fight with weapons and things like a knuckle duster, for example, like there are those people that carry
Yeah.
knuckle dusters. Do you think when they go out, they think, I'm going to use the knuckle duster, but after a couple of beers so that I'm more confident with it and I don't mind if someone knuckle dusts me back?
I don't know. What is your intention when you pack a keys, wallet, condom,
Yeah.
knuckle duster?
Yeah.
I'm ready for a night out. It's a bit odd.
If you don't know what a knuckle duster is, by the way, probably people listening, it's like a metal, like a joined rings that you slide over your fingers, and it's like having a metal sort of, what is it, a metal glove
fist,
on. Yeah, metal fist.
I
So
always thought that it would hurt a lot to punch, even if you're wearing one.
Let's just talk quickly about the moment in Train Spotting where Begbie, is it?
Okay.
Smashes the wine bottle and shoves it in someone's face. That used to be a bit of a thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
People breaking bottles and glassing someone.
Yeah.
Or breaking a glass and shoving it in their face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how violent people can get. Imagine someone sober in one of our sober groups. Our lovely sober breakfast.
Smashed a San Pellegrino and came at you.
You'd be like, mate, what are you doing? This is not what we do. Basically, when your brain isn't thinking, you start doing shit that you wouldn't normally do and react in ways that don't match your character.
Exactly.
So sometimes fighting is just a side effect of being a pisshead, especially it's a problem for the binge drinker. So is it true that some alcohols can make you more prone to fighting than others, like that Stella nickname, Haim?
Well, there are quite a few factors to discover here. What makes someone really angry when drunk? According to one study, the following risk factors may increase the risk of alcohol-related aggression. So there's being male.
Interesting.
I would say, yeah, more men than women have fights drunk,
Yes.
but they certainly happen. Being a binge drinker obviously will increase the odds of you being aggressive when you're drunk. Having high levels of trait anger. I didn't know what trait anger was. Let's Google that. But basically, yeah, you're prone to depression or mental health issues. Having a sensation-seeking personality. I think everyone who is drunk heavily and maybe that is now sober could admit, we
It's
were.
like creating the drama, isn't it?
Yeah, chasing it. Having underlying irritability, someone who's angry when
We've
you're
all got
sober
that.
anyway.
We've all got that, haven't we?
You more than me.
Yeah.
Having friends or relatives who exhibit aggression under the influence of alcohol.
Oh, yeah, so like a generational learnt behaviour.
Yeah. Or lacking empathy or having a low regard to consequences.
Gosh, I'd like to meet someone like that. So that's quite a full-on thing not to have, isn't it? No empathy and
no
low regard
consequences.
for
Yeah.
consequences. It's like fucking hardcore, isn't
Basically,
it?
you're drunk when you're sober.
Yes.
That mindset.
Yeah.
Drinking cocktails that include energy drinks should also be considered a possible factor for aggressive behaviour. Researchers surveyed 175 young adults who mixed alcohol with caffeinated energy drinks about their verbal and physical aggression in bar conflicts. Results showed enough escalation in people consuming these drinks to label the beverages a potential risk to increased hostility.
Oh my God, we used to drink that Red Bull and vodka. So it was like rocket fuel. I remember your brain used to feel really on fire and the next day you had really horrible palpitations.
Fake cheap Red Bull. It was more intense.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
So you remember that feeling of being more awake and being not slovenly drunk, but being kind of fired up drunk? I'm sure that caused a lot of fights. Yeah. And Stella, here we go, Haim. The reason it's called that terrible term is that it used to be a lot stronger than it is now, over 5%, which was stronger than a normal pint. But it's really the amount that people drink rather than the alcohol content compared to other strong lagers. Now, Hamish, have you heard of this term, king hit, before?
I'd never heard of it until I moved to Sydney.
Yes.
And I think if you live in Australia, you learn about it pretty quick. It's when an innocent bystander gets punched, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be that. The definition is a knockout punch or a coward punch or a king hit, a sudden damaging blow. This term is recorded from the late 19th century. King hit is an older term popularised in Australia during the First World War when it was used to describe soldiers being hit by shelling. In more recent years, the term has been mentioned in relation to one-punch assaults in Australian cities. It is known as a king hit because of the power of the blow. Let's hear some of these frightening stats, Hamish.
These are pretty intense. So more than 170 Australians have been killed by a coward punch since 2000. Most assaults occur between midnight and 3 a.m. from a Friday to a Sunday. Males accounted for more than 90% of all victims. 73% of fatalities involved alcohol. In fact, the median blood alcohol levels of victims was over 3 times the legal driving limit in Australia. And every one of these deaths was preventable.
Oh, it's sad. It's terrible, isn't it?
Killed by a single punch.
Yeah.
Usually, when they're walking away or unaware or not braced. What brings someone, how drunk do you need to be or how angry do you need to be to want to punch a complete stranger in the back of the head?
I'm not sure that the thought even comes into it, Hamish. I think that's the point, which is why the whole situation is sad. Sometimes it might be someone who's out to find trouble, but other times it's the alcohol, isn't it? It's making them feel and act in an uncharacteristic way. I don't know the ins and outs of every single story, but I'm sure it's things that people wouldn't do if they weren't drinking.
Yeah, so the puncher ruins their life in that split second, as well as obviously the person they punch whose lives they end.
Yeah, everything's ruined.
I always think of that. I always think of how, the amount of times that I was drunk and never really anything seriously went wrong.
Yeah.
But, you could be a lovely person and you get drunk and you make a bad decision to get in a car and you might kill someone. And that is your life done.
Finished. Yeah.
Just a regrettable, out of character decision. It's awful.
But I guess if alcohol was taken out of the equation completely, this would never happen.
Yeah.
That's the truth of it, isn't it?
As of 2024, both terms have developed a strong association with assaults carried out by young men in the vicinity of nightclub and hotel venues, with a single unexpected hit to the victim's head. While the blow itself sometimes results in serious injuries or death, the force of the victim's head hitting the ground can also be fatal.
It seems also that if you're a binge drinker, just by consuming alcohol, you could be at a higher risk of being a victim of a king punch, because alcohol impairs the ability to react to an incoming punch or attack, or anticipate the signs of danger, especially in a noisy, crowded, or dark social setting. Additionally, relaxation of the muscles around the neck while intoxicated causes the victim to be less resistant to the punch, causing greater damage to the major arteries of the neck. That's kind of what we were saying, Haim. You feel more numb, and therefore you think you're probably going to take a punch better, but what we're saying there is actually it makes it worse. Yeah. The fallout from a king hit is massive. Let's just talk about there, Hamish, the impact on families here. Yeah. This one mistake from drinking, if we really take it down to the fact, it is from drinking. Imagine how many people it affects.
All the friends, all the family.
The witnesses,
the
pub owners, the ambulance people, see young people, in this terrible state. It's awful.
Also, every single person that's ever had a night out in Sydney since. You've got you've got the fear that it might happen to me.
Yeah.
B, you've got, it's a shit night out now.
Yeah.
Because of something that's happened here.
Some random act of violence, yeah.
This is all quite heavy stuff, obviously, and quite scary, but it's important we have these discussions so that people know the risks they are taking when drinking heavily on a night out. Do you ever think about risk, Vic? I'm judging by your lack of finger. You might not.
Yeah. No, I thought I was invincible, Hamish, but I'm glad I know them now and can teach my kid about these dangers. Did you have any fears when you used to go out?
Not once, but I do actually think that growing up in London made me a little bit afraid all the time. Like I maybe had like a 25% fear bubbling away anyway. So I guess I was always kind of conscious. I was very aware when my northern mates came down to London on a night out that they were being louder and like standing out more than they should.
Yeah.
Like being loud and drawing attention to yourself on a night bus would just make my insides crawl. I was like, no, we don't get attention on a night bus, So I think I had quite a good sense of when a night or a situation was turning and I would escape.
I think it's funny. You've just reminded me of a situation in Thailand where I knew when I was in Thailand that there's a certain way to behave as a tourist. Okay, and this happens a lot abroad, doesn't it? If we're talking about like places in Spain and real holiday destinations. And I remember sometimes I'd see some lads wandering around the streets in like the Koh San Road in Bangkok, for example, and acting like they might act in Magaluf or answering back to the staff. And the staff in Thailand in restaurants and hotels and stuff would always be very, very, very polite and say, sorry, sir, thank you, sir, and just be lovely to them. But I knew that if you acted like that, there was a chance that they would be polite to your face and the next day that person would wake up dead in a rice field. Like, you do not disrespect the locals. And I think that is a massive problem when people are travelling abroad and going on holiday, over drinking in Ibiza and all of those places, and are rude to the locals. I mean, that must cause so many pub fights, mustn't it?
Yeah. That was a fear I had at uni, actually. There was always a sense that like the locals don't like the uni students.
Yes.
Because obviously Newcastle was 2 unis there. We take over the whole town. And there's always a sense that they don't like us. Particularly, I was a southerner, sort of southerner versus northerner thing. So I was very aware of like, we would go out on nights that we knew weren't local night outs to avoid that kind of conflict.
Yeah, I remember dragging people away in Thailand going, look, you just don't do that here. You can't talk to people with disrespect. They will not have it. They might be smiling, but this isn't going to end well for you. You don't know what the culture is wherever you're going. And there's certain ways you've got to act, and being drunk and violent and being aggressive towards people is never going to end well, is it? Yeah, sure. Anywhere, actually. Yeah.
Apart from quitting drinking, what are a few ways we can change this violent drinking culture, Vic?
Well, education, I guess, that's what we're going to try and do with our kids, like talk about these situations. It would be great that if there was a whole school education program that heightened the understanding and triggers and consequences of social violence to make such behaviour socially unacceptable. Because I guess there's always that person that fought and you kind of thought it was funny and okay. So, it's all right, he's all right, he just always gets in fights. But that sort of language isn't helpful, is it? No.
I don't know what kind of education program on this would have worked, though.
No.
Like you or I going to school and saying, hey, some people, when they drink, sometimes get violent. We'd be like, okay, it's never going to happen to me. If you had maybe someone who's come out of prison and had a night out when they punched someone and
came and talked about it in a school.
That maybe would work for me. Yeah,
that would work for me.
It's a hard thing to teach because when you're a kid, being taught anything, there's an element of like piss off.
Yeah, I do what I want, yeah. I think you having that level of awareness when you lived in London, that 25% of that knew how to act, even if you were drinking, knew where it was going too far. I think just being able to teach them that would give them a sense of knowing when to step away. Because I had that as well. I knew that there were certain behaviours that weren't acceptable. I think it's just about manners a lot of the time and knowing that acting out in that way is not okay and is going to get you into trouble.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the coward punch or the king hit, strong messages to the community build awareness of the prevalence and impact of a coward punch attack. Again, this empowers the community to make violence socially unacceptable. Just talking about this stuff is what will change it. And I think there's also something to be said for Hamish being a mate. You can make it clear that you don't accept violence anywhere at any time. Like if something does break out, you can go, mate, that is not okay. And I'm not willing to spend time with you or go out with you if you show me that behaviour. It's not okay. It makes me scared. It makes other people scared. And it's not nice to be around. And just really vocalising that. You could call out jokes, that glorify violence, like the wife beater joke. Call that out. That is not acceptable behaviour. Look out for your mates on a night out, particularly in a social setting. If there's someone there who doesn't drink as much or doesn't drink at all, that is always going to be helpful.
It's hard, that, isn't it? 'Cause I remember thinking as a mate, if a punch up broke out in front of me, is me not getting involved, me being a bad mate? Because there's a sense of that. If my best friend gets punched in front of me, why am I not defending him? Whereas I guess I would be trying to pull him away and get out of the situation, which I think is the right thing to do.
That is defending them, is pulling them out of the situation and taking them aside and saying, think more clearly about what's going on right here. Because I think you can sober someone up in that situation. That's what paramedics have to do all the time, isn't it? Go into those situations and go, look, this isn't going to help you and this isn't going to help that person. Now let's move you away and have a chat about it.
Some of the information that's shared today is from the Pat Cronin Foundation. In 2016, 19-year-old Pat was struck in the head with a coward punch. 2 days later, his parents made the agonising decision to turn off his life support.
They say that young people often resort to this kind of violence because they don't know how to handle conflict and emotions. If you'd like more information on the foundation, head to thepatcroninfoundation.org.au.
So you can guess what we're going to say at the end here. The best way to not get involved in a pub fight is to give up booze. It's really that simple. You'll be less likely to spill a pint and less likely to have a run with Dangerous Darren with a spider's web tattoo on his neck.
Yeah, I love Dangerous Darren. No, he's sweet when he's sober.
He is.
I think we forget sometimes about the risks we take under the influence. 1 minute you might be having a few drinks with mates and the next someone has you by the throat up against the jukebox. Life, when drinking, can be unpredictable. This is a lesson on why staying sober is the safer option. You can still go to the pub, but just sneak out before closing time.
I like this quote. Hit the bottom and get back up, or hit the bottle and stay down.
I think something that sobriety brings, Hamish, to you and I, which is quite cheesy, but is peace, isn't it? It's less conflict in every situation. That's what sobriety is for me. It's like, it might not be about fighting, but it's definitely about there being less chaos. I only fight with my husband now about the temperature of my coffee.
Yeah, I've said this before, but I would say all of my arguments in my past relationships have been when drunk.
Yeah.
Just don't argue really when you're sober.
Yeah, it causes not only violence, but petty arguments that start about nothing and can escalate and actually ruin a relationship. Even with mates and family, the only arguments I ever have with my mum is after drinking. Yeah. So it just proves it. There's something happening in the body that makes you feel different than you would do if you're sober.
Now we're just peaceful Buddhas all the time.
We are peaceful Buddhas.
Fires.
Yeah. Let's go and have some dal.
Let's have a chai and some dal today.
Let's go and have an ice bath in dal.
That would be nice. That'd be really nice.
I can't imagine you've hit anything lately, have you, Hamish?
I actually did clip your car on the way in.
Oh,
Don't look at the back right bumper.
Why, you little?
If you're questioning your relationship with booze, you're struggling to moderate, or your hangovers are causing anxiety, it might be time to reach out for some support.
Yeah, just talk to a mate about how you're feeling, contact a local doctor, find an AA or sobriety group. Vic's got one.
Yeah, just head to www.cuppa.community.
Remember, if you're questioning yourself, it might be time to seek support.
Even though this journey can be awkward, it is definitely worth it. And if you've enjoyed the Sober Awkward podcast, don't forget to review it, rate it, and share it with your mates.
Do they have to share it with their mates?
Yeah, of course they do. I'm not doing this for nothing, Hamish. Bloody hell.
How do they share it?
I don't know, just write it on the...
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meet Pura 4, the smart way to scent your home year-round. Get your diffuser free when you subscribe for 12 months, plus a 30-day risk-free trial. Visit Pura.com before this offer ends.
So, as you probably know, my comedy memoir, 1,000 Wasted Sundays, is officially out. All my magnificent fuck-uppery in one awkward hit. If you'd like to get your hands on a copy, it's now available from all good bookstores.
We always say all good bookstores, don't we?
Yeah.
Are there bad
No,
bookstores?
it's probably ones with moody sellers.
Oh yeah, really
Yeah.
depressed librarian folk.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. So there are probably some, but we're only storing it in the good ones.
It's only made it into the goodies.
You can also get it from all good online retailers. The print version and ebook are out now, and the audiobook will be available in March. I've been writing my memoir for 5 years. It will make you laugh, cry and cringe, and hopefully inspire a few people to reconsider their relationship with booze. If you love the podcast, then I think you'll love the book, even if I do say so myself. Hamish has read it. What did you think?
I feel like I know a little bit too much about you now, to be honest, Vic. Look, I really loved it. It was hilarious and surprisingly moving, but I feel like I've seen you naked in a literary sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From an emotional point of view, seriously, it wobbled my teeny weeny wooden heart, Vic.
Okay.
My teeny little wooden heart.
Well, his teeny little, his wooden heart is broken. Anyway, so if you do manage to get your filthy mitts on a copy, please do me a favour and head to goodreads.com and give me a review. Doing that will help me get it out there to those that need a bit of sober support. So there you have it. My story, unwanted warts and all. Come and get awkward with me.
Not to be too demanding or anything, but seriously, go and buy it
Yeah,
now.
go and buy it. Go and buy it right now.
Yeah, don't just tell your friends, buy it, and then buy your friends one or two.
Yeah, don't give them a copy. Buy it, yeah.
And you know what? Don't be careful where you store it. If you lose it, you can always buy another 5.
Buy another one.
Yeah.